Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Michael, KE4EST. On the bench today I have a Heathkit full of dust and dust bunnies. Heathkit frequency counter. This has got the Nixie tubes in it, you can't really tell yet. This is model IB, India Bravo, model IB-1103 or 1103. However you want to say that. But what I've done, I've not taken it apart or anything yet. I got this from a guy. Says he don't know if it works or not. I can take it and do whatever. And it's been sitting for a little while. If you watched the previous one, the update videos there a couple weeks ago or whatever it was. So I'm trying to start to get back in, get some of these things going through, and I've been saving them so that I could shoot it and put it on YouTube for you guys that like to watch this stuff. So anyway, I've got it plugged in. Now this is, I've got a manual on this somewhere. I've got stacks of Heathkit manuals, and I know I've got a manual for this because I've got pieces to it's IB1101 or 1102 that has less Nixie tubes in it. This was like the deluxe model back at the time, and I've not looked that up yet, but I will look that up and find that. But anyway, I know this is one of those units, kind of like the multimeter you've seen up there, the IM102 you've seen up there. So it's kind of like that one. Got the same look, same, in the same era. They had, several different pieces of test equipment that looked like this, and it has the brown, I guess, like a light brown color to it. Right now I just want to see if it works, and sometimes it's a bad idea plugging things in and turn them on, but we're going to see. So I almost set this up and I was like, whoa, wait a minute, get the camera, let's just wait a little bit, get the camera and get it going. So here we go. Well, it comes up, gate's flashing here, so we're in kilohertz mode. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Nixie tubes is that. I mean, if this thing was 7, I don't think it's 8 Nixie tubes. I can see something there behind the plastic, so I say glass. It's dark here, so it looks easier. Make sure, yeah, you can see the numbers. You can barely actually see. You see that right there, that reflection. Let's see here. I notice that either that don't work or it's just not in circuit or something right now. And there's a Nixie tube right there that actually looks, it's going to be hard until I take it apart. It looks like it's twisted or something, or bent back. The Nixie tube is not working. So let's see here. I've got the frequency. Let's see. I've got the signal generator set on 1 megahertz. So let's, did that just come up at 1? Yeah, okay. I thought maybe it's just random fluke. So that's kilohertz. So we have 1,000. There's a decimal right there. I don't know if you can see that in the camera. Yeah. There's a decimal there, so this would be 1,000 kilohertz with 2 decimal places. Well, that's pretty accurate, ain't it? I guess. Oh, wait, it's going to move as soon as I said that. I'm just using the internal time base, wherever this, like I said, I just plugged it in. Been sitting over there in a pile of some other stuff, so looks like we got a Nixie tube out. Let me see. Let's go to frequency 2 megahertz. Okay, yeah, we've jumped up to 2 megahertz. So let's go to 1 millisecond. Okay. Well, I'm guessing that's working, but this one, Nixie Tube, ain't working right here. Looks like that's a little bit loose. Because that's where the 2 would be, is right there. Ain't gonna show hertz, is it? Let's go back over here and change their time base. Well, maybe it's not working in the 1 millisecond at all. Make it 100 milliseconds and times 1 times 10. That's on the DC input. Let's see if it. Yeah, it's gonna work on the AC input. Okay, let's try something. Let's do. I'm trying to work around the camera and the light and everything else here. I was trying to think here. Let's do 1.9 megahertz. Okay. So now, with everything set up like it was, we got 1900 kilohertz. Let's see, that ain't working. That should be 1 right there, or it should have been 2 a while ago. Still ain't showing nothing there. Yeah, it's too far down. These ain't working at all, or I'm just not. Make the 1 here. Okay. So that's moved over here in 1 second. Well, it's kind of working anyway, ain't it? It's trying to. This should be a 0 there. Alright, let me turn off that signal generator. Take that out. Turn this off. Let me get that unplugged, and I'll show you something else too. Somebody's done that to it right there. Because these are them plugs that's hard to find. If you look, that's them little, I forget, I actually looked it up and found what it's called, what the number is on that, but those are hard to find. And this is the only one I've got. Like I think I showed you in the other one, I just took this out and wired a regular plug into it. You know, because people want like $35 for these on eBay and all that nonsense. But anyway, so let's it's Phillips, okay. Boy, there's a lot of wear on them screws. Wow, I mean, somebody's had this apart a bunch, or just had a bad screwdriver or something. So if this is like the other stuff, I should be able to just loosen these screws. This way, loosen. Yeah, that'll come right off of there. Okay, now let's do it this way. I'll move the light. There you go. You should be able to see there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's that one's messed up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there is a little neon lamp. They'll light for another 1. I didn't know if that's what was there or not, but I was thinking it was 8 Nixie Tubes. So this one here, look how goofy that thing is. It's off. Oh, I see. Look at that. And you see that. Yeah, it's just flopping around in there. That one is. So that's, I don't know. Maybe it'd be easy fix. But why is the other one not working? I don't know. Now, of course, with this being the age of it and all that, I will go through here. Let me get this set up here. I'll go through. And at least the nice thing about these two is, see how this is modular. I can take this screw out right here, and there's little pins that push in there, and I can just slide this board right out. But I'll go through and place these capacitors on this power supply board. Be the first thing I do. And start saying plug that back in and see what happens then, but I might, since we got this thing that's about to fall out in here, see what I can do about that. Now I've got another one of these units, 1103, and like I said, it's 1101 or 1102. I can't remember which one it is. I've got one of those also that I'd picked up for parts units a long time ago. So I gotta go dig those up, and at least I have maybe some chips, or if this is broke or something, be able to change that out and fix that and take care of that, because at this point I don't know exactly what's going on. But before I do any more troubleshooting or do any troubleshooting, with the age of it, I want to get this power supply, make sure it's up to snuff. I'd hate for one of these to zap out on me and cause some other problems, because I know some people's like, well, don't worry about it, it's not that old, it'll be fine, it's not tubes, it's not this, whatever, just go ahead but if you're not familiar with some of the first Heathkit stuff in the 70s, that's started using these chips late 70s, and let me get my glasses and see if I can see some date codes. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but this is 38th week of 75, 37th week of 75, 23rd week of 76. So this had come out in a lot of 76 and 75 on the dates. These up here I'm trying to look at. I know you can't see. Them are 76. So this come out late 76 or 77. Most likely 77 or 78 when this unit come out. I have to look all that up. But anyway, some of these chips you can't get anymore. I mean, unless you can find surplus somewhere, and some of them is custom chips. That's what's aggravating, to have these custom chips that they would have made. Now, I don't know if this particular one has them or not, but they would have these custom chips made. So you can't just go to eBay or somewhere and, look for, even though it might be a chip. Sometimes you can find a chip that's not manufactured anymore, but it was, say, a 7400 series chip or something. And you can't buy them new, but you can look on eBay or something or whatever and find somebody's got some that's new old stock and get that. But some of the chips that are hard to find, and then some people take these things, which I hate seeing that done, but they'll take them, they're working, or repairable, but they'll take them, pull all these boards out, pull all these chips out, and put them on eBay to sell. Maybe not all of them, maybe some's common, but the ones that's custom or ones that's hard to get. And and I've been guilty of buying them before. I don't know if I should say guilty, but somebody's already tore it apart and they've got it listed on eBay. I need a certain part and I can't get it no more. I've bought it, and they usually want a premium for it. Sometimes $20 for one little chip or something, or whatever. And then you're still not guaranteed, because they'll say, no guarantee, blah blah blah. I just took a thing, tore it down, and selling the parts. A lot of times they'll say working before, tore it down, but did they really go through and do a full test on these things? I doubt it. I doubt they even tested it. Now, another thing with these two, you can see here. Yeah, you can see that right there. See how they've got these, turn it sideways. Yeah, there we go. See that right in there? And they've got these little pins. It's not a regular what we see today is, a dip chip socket, dual inline pin chip socket. It's these little fingers. Well, let me bring that back out. It's these little fingers here, and they just pinch like this here, and they're individual, but you have to go through and put all them in there. Sometimes they'll be tied together in a row with something on them, but once you put them in, you take it off, or something like plastic or something, because you can't have all those pins touching together, because then what good would it do you? And I've heard old timers tell me that they built things like this, and they say, yeah, it took me hours, which would have took a lot quicker if I had to just drop a socket in and solder it real quick. But you got to solder, a 14 or 16 pin dip chip. You got to go through and put all these in one at a time, and make sure they're lined up, and solder each one individually, and then do the other side before you can even, ready to put a chip in. Of course, you wait till everything's done before you put the chips in, but this must be the oscillator. Yep. It says oscillator just in the back. Probably 4 megacycles, 4 megahertz, if I had to guess. But anyway, so I guess we could slide the bottom off too. Have a look down there. And there you go. See, all them's got to be sorted in individually and put in. Here's the switches. Now them are tied together, pre-made switches, but power supply coming out there from the transformer, looks like. Yeah, and see, here's where these pins, these boards will slide in and out. Let's see how hard it is to get one out real quick without making this video too awfully long. Let's see what I gotta do here with this. I've not pulled one in a while. I don't think this one's got screws. I don't see none. Alright, let's see here. Very carefully. Yeah, there we go. See how I just pulled that out? Maybe you can see. Down in there, there's where the pins are. That plugs in. There's a guide pin in the back right there for ground and for guiding. See how it's tied here to the ground plane. It helps guide it in. So it serves two purposes. Boy, I was right dead on, wasn't I? 4,000 kilohertz or 4 megahertz, 4 megacycles. That's what they usually are, the ones I've worked on and took apart. But it's easier too to look at this thing to see how those pins are in there. You can see that. See how those little things that pinch and just hold it in there. And sometimes, so what I was going to get at was these are sometimes they're not as good as the modern chip sockets. Sometimes you'll have a problem, and it's not a bad part. It's just pull one of these out and clean the socket up, or the whatever you want to call it, and put it back in very carefully, and it'll work. So that's it. And I know somebody's going to say in the comments, you're touching that board, you're not grounded. And, well, no. I could lie and say, I'm grounded down here somewhere, you just can't see it. But no, I'm not grounded. But with the chips in the sockets, in the circuit, usually 99% of the time you're okay. I wouldn't want to start pulling these chips out, and walking across the carpet and coming over and pulling these chips out, messing with them, zap them, especially, if you got a custom chip somewhere. But every one of these is 76 here. Every one of these, 23rd week, 23rd week, 23rd, that's a whole bunch of the same chip. 24th week on that chip is a different one. 15th week on that chip. But yep, that's how that goes. So pull these out, clean them up, and it's easy too if you need to replace any parts or anything. But as you can see, so far the resistors are Allen Bradley style. These tandem capacitors, as long as everything's working fine, should be okay still. I may still replace them. but I may just leave them. And then of course the discs will be fine and all that. Let's see what else we got in here. So yeah, that's how it works. I think I can pull this board out too. Okay. Oh, Allen Bradley. One little electrolytic there that probably wouldn't hurt to be changed out. Maybe. Probably be fine. This has got a bunch of 76 on it too. And you can see these chips are just all which way and that other way. But anyway, so that'll make it easier to work on. But this I'll do it off camera. This video's already getting long enough for everybody. I'll go through and see what I've got to do to get this off here. I guess just take that screw out there, 2 screws. Actually, I can just take one out and back that off, but I can get this bezel off too, the front. Guess I'll have to, no. I can just take that off without any problems there. But anyway, so that's what it is, the Heathkit frequency counter. This is the one with the 8 Nixies in it, model IB1103. So I'll get to work on changing out the caps and all that in the power supply and going through it real good, and then see if I can dig up that parts unit, figure out what's going on with this chip. If it's, I'm just trying to see. Very interesting. I can't tell it up under there. I just can't see it with all this stuff in the way. What's going on? How that? If that just sockets in. Oh yes, it does. Maybe we can see that real quick. Let's see. Let me see if I can get the light in the way here. The light's trying to come down in the camera. Yep, there we go. You can see that right there. Socket, and these are just sockets in, so it's come out of the socket. Maybe we can get that out of there without breaking it. Oh, no, don't do that. What I said don't do that was, see how these wires, you gotta line it up right in this socket type thing. And if you don't, if you pull this off, because this is coming right off, and get these wires all mixed up coming out, because it's just wires coming out the bottom of it. You get them all mixed up, then you have to go through and tediously go around and count and see which one goes where and all that stuff. So I'm going to keep that. So maybe that just needs to be plugged in. I started to say it looks like it's sucked there, but maybe not. Maybe not. Somebody's had this out before because they've knocked off the writing on it. Just have some blue writing, and since it's already off, see that? How let's wipe that off. So it's got that powder coating on it. So just, you know, with any vacuum tube or a tube like this Nixie tube, you gotta be really careful with it. Some of the older tubes, some of them you can just scrub on everything. You can still look at it and say, yep, that's a 664. But some of them you just barely touch it, and it's gone. With dry hands, or what you think's dry hands, you have oils in your hands you don't realize sometimes, but just touch it and it's gone. The number's wiped off. So, alright, well, I'm glad we seen that before I ended this video. So let me get to work on this, and when I get some of it done, get it going, and or figure out something else, I'll come back with another video on it. Until the next video, this is Michael, KE4EST 73.